Alright, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making tomato sauce. Now it is extremely hot here in East Texas. We're in the triple digits now, almost daily. We ended up picking most of our tomatoes. Once it gets this hot, the tomatoes are pretty much done. Along everything else, except for eggplants. They're doing pretty good. But our tomatoes, we picked as many as we could, to the ones that were very ripe to almost very ripe. We picked all those because the plants are pretty much done. All the green ones, we're just going to slice those up, make some fried green tomatoes. I heard those are very good, so we're not going to let nothing go to waste. And whatever, the ones that are rotten and beyond anything that we can eat, we give them to our chickens and they enjoy them. But yeah, we picked as many as we could, and what we basically did is cleaned them up, of course, and cut out all the bad parts, and chopped them up into little chunks, or good sized chunks, and we're going to throw those in a pot and we're going to cook them down. So let's get started.
So after cleaning up all the tomatoes and cutting them up, I put them all in the pot. These were the ripest of all the tomatoes that we got. This pot is an 82 quart, or roughly, I think it's 20.5 gallon, or 70 liter pot. And it was about a third full, so it was pretty decent size, decent amount. Then I got the fire going, and you have to stir it occasionally because you don't want the tomatoes burning on the bottom, of course. And they will slowly, well actually pretty quickly, start to cook down. You can see here, it wasn't too much longer. They were all boiling and starting to get more into sauce. So after it started boiling, the skins of the tomatoes started peeling and everything started stewing down. Now I'm using this scooper here. It's got a screen, and I'm straining it, all the liquid I'm leaving behind, as much as possible. And that's pretty much the last of it. And what's left is we have a bunch of tomato juice left. Now normally we would drink this and keep it cold and drink it, but the tomatoes weren't that great, so we just decided to not use it. And now I'm going to bring this into the house. And now we're going to run the tomatoes that we just cooked down through the Fabio Leonardi tomato sauce machine. Now this machine is awesome. It'll separate the skins and the seeds from the tomato sauce. If I can find this still online, I'm going to put a link to it in the description under the video. And I pretty much ran the entire pot through the machine. And now we're going to run the skins and the seeds through the machine again. You'll be surprised how much more sauce is in there. All those tomatoes that I had it cooked down with just a small bowl of skins and seeds now, and we got a decent amount of sauce out of it though. And I cleaned out the pot outside again. And now we're ready to cook this sauce down because it's still a little bit too watery. And now we're going to get this cooking again. And you got to remember, you got to keep stirring it occasionally because you do not want it to burn at the bottom. And here you can see it's simmering really nice. And it really didn't take that long, but we got it cooked down to where the sauce is now thickening up. So now we have to get things ready. I'm boiling some lids to the mason jars. I got 6 mason jars in the toaster oven so we can sanitize those. And I'm just about ready here. And we're going to bring that inside. And now we started that sauce boiling again, and this will be ready to put in the jars now.
Okay, so I have the sauce boiling here. It's just a very light boil. The jars are sterile. The lids are sterile. So we're going to put basil, fresh basil picked from our garden. We're going to put a leaf or 2 in each jar. Yeah, we'll do maybe 1 or couple leaves. We want some good flavor. That's what we want. Okay. All right, that's good. Now we got our scooper here. Let me give this a stir. Just by putting this in the sauce, you immediately sterilize it because it is boiling. Okay. Put a little funnel on there. Now this is just a very simple tomato sauce. There's no seasoning in here. It's just cooked down tomatoes and of course the basil in the jar. This is absolutely delicious in the summer, on a hot summer day like this, having fresh tomato sauce. Just a simple fresh tomato sauce on your pasta. And of course you want to leave a little bit of headroom on the jars. You want to make sure the seal is clean. Put this on our next one. And it should be clean because the funnel will protect it. But what we want to do is get these sealed up while it's nice and hot. You want to get a rag and tighten those rings up nice and tight. You just heard one pop. And let's continue on. I'm hoping I have enough sauce to fill all 6. And anything that's left over, we're just going to have a fresh tomato sauce probably tonight. And it's probably a good idea that I seal this one up right away. And the last one. Ooh, hot. Everything's hot. Wow. I mean, that is absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. We're gonna put our last lid on there. Actually, let me wipe it real good. Okay. Well guys, this is it. We got 6 jars out of all those tomatoes. That pot, that big pot that we had, was an 82 quart pot, so a third of that was full of freshly cut tomatoes. We cooked it down a little bit. Then once it was partially cooked down and the skins were peeling off and all that stuff and they just softened up, we ran it through the machine, okay? Got all the seeds, the skins out of it and all that stuff. The juice, we got rid of it because the tomatoes weren't fully ripe. It's been so hot, and the tomatoes, we have to pick them all now and do something quick, so we decided to just make some tomato sauce. Probably not going to be the best tasting tomato sauce we ever made, but it's from our own garden, and that gives us a lot of pleasure. So again, very simple tomato sauce. This would be perfect on a hot summer day. Pour it over some pasta with a little basil on there, a little Parmesan, and be all set. This is still very, very hot. Once it starts to cool, all these lids will start popping in, and they'll be good to go. Now, we normally don't put them in water and boil them again. You can if you want, there's nothing wrong with that. But that's just an unnecessary step for us because we processed over 700 pounds of tomatoes back in, I think it was 2020, I think it was. I'll put a link to that up here. And that's all we did, is pour them in the jars, close the lids up real tight, and then we still have plenty of jars left over, and they're all perfectly fine. We've been eating them almost constantly. You can put them in a pot, boil it again now, just to make sure everything is killed in there. But you have to remember, the jars were sterilized, okay? And we put them in our toaster oven for like 10 minutes at 350 or whatever it was. The lids were boiled for like 10 minutes. The tomato sauce is boiling as you're putting it in the jar, so everything is sterile. The basil we put in there, as soon as that hot boiling sauce went in there, dead. any bacteria that might be on there. So my mother used to do it this way, or my grandmother used to do it this way. A lot of Sicilians do it this way, and it's turned out fine. Just what we do once in a while, we go in there and we check all the lids in our storage room or in your pantry. Check the lids. If you see one that doesn't look good, well, get rid of it. That's all. So when you're ready to use the sauce, what we do is we just saute some onions, and when they're transparent, we throw in some minced garlic and let it saute in olive oil, of course, for about 1 minute, the garlic for about 1 minute. Pour your sauce in there and let it saute real nice and let it get all cooked up. And it's very simple, and and some basil. If you want to put some more basil in there, you can. You got yourself a very simple tomato sauce. Okay guys, so thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.